Have you ever looked at a law book and wondered, who hurt the person who wrote this? We like to think laws are created by very serious people, sitting in very serious rooms, making highly logical decisions to keep society safe. But history proves that sometimes lawmakers just lose their absolute minds. From countries where it's literally illegal to forget your wife's birthday, to cities where you can get arrested for letting a farm animal sleep in your bathtub. Today, we are counting down the absolute weirdest, most baffling laws ever created across the globe. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to wonder how any of us are still walking around as free citizens. Let's get into it. First up, we are heading to Greece. If you're packing your bags for a historic vacation, you might want to leave your designer stilettos at home. Why? Because since 2009, it has been strictly illegal to wear high heels at historical sites. No, this isn't the fashion police making a statement. It's actually a matter of architectural survival. Archaeologists realized that thousands of tourists wearing sharp, pointed heels were putting thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch onto ancient marble. They were literally drilling holes into history with their footwear. So, if you try to hike up to the Acropolis looking like a supermodel, security will stop you. Break this rule, and you're looking at a fine. Stick to the sneakers, folks. The ruins have stood for 2,500 years. They don't need to be taken down by a pair of Louboutins. Next, let's travel to the beautiful Pacific Island nation of Samoa. This next law is a public service announcement for anyone who is incredibly forgetful. In Samoa, it is legally forbidden to forget your wife's birthday. Yes, you heard that right. It is an actual, literal crime. Now, before you think this is just a myth, here's how it actually plays out. If a husband forgets the big day, the wife can officially lodge a complaint with the local police. The husband will then be taken to the station, given a very stern talking to, and in extreme cases, forced to pay a fine or spend a night in the holding cell. The law is designed to keep marriages happy, or at least terrifyingly compliant. So if you live in Samoa, you don't just set a phone reminder for your anniversary. Your freedom literally depends on it. Moving on to the fashion capital of Europe, Milan, Italy. Milan is famous for its art, its cathedral, and its legal requirement for you to smile. According to an old city regulation from the 19th century that was never officially repealed, citizens are legally required to smile at all times while in public. The only exceptions written into the law: people attending funerals, or individuals visiting loved ones in the hospital. For everyone else wandering the streets, if you're caught frowning, looking grumpy, or radiating bad vibes, you could technically face a fine. While modern police officers aren't walking around with smile meters checking your face, the law technically remains on the books. So if you're having a bad day in Milan, you better fake it till you make it. Now, we have to go over to the United States, because U.S. state laws are an absolute goldmine of bizarre history. Take Arizona, for example. In this state, it is strictly illegal to let a donkey sleep in a bathtub. Now, this sounds completely random, but it actually has a hilarious backstory. Way back in 1924, a local rancher in Arizona allowed his donkey to sleep in an old bathtub on his property. One night, a local dam broke, causing a massive flash flood that swept through the town. The donkey, still asleep in the tub, was carried miles down the river, floating like a majestic, furry captain. The town had to spend an enormous amount of manpower, time, and money to launch a rescue mission to save this floating bathtub donkey. The citizens were so annoyed by the whole ordeal that they immediately passed a law banning it from ever happening again. History is amazing. Heading back to Italy, but this time to the floating city of Venice. If you've ever scrolled through travel photos of Venice, you've probably seen iconic shots of tourists feeding thousands of pigeons in St. Mark's Square. Well, don't do it. Since 2008, feeding pigeons in Venice has been completely banned. If you get caught tossing breadcrumbs to these rats of the sky, local authorities can hit you with a fine of up to $700. The city passed this because the massive pigeon population was destroying Venice's historic marble statues and tracking acidic droppings all over ancient monuments. Plus, cleaning up after millions of birds was costing the city a fortune. Now, the only things allowed to eat in Venice are the humans paying for overpriced pasta. So, what have we learned today? We learned that if you wear high heels while frowning at a pigeon, all while forgetting your wife's birthday next to a donkey in a bathtub, you are basically a global supervillain. The world is full of strange rules, usually born out of some incredibly specific, chaotic event from the past. Which of these laws did you think was the absolute wildest? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more bizarre history explained simply, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.